Would you like to learn how to do this haircut and elevate your skills to the next level? Well, you found the right spot. I'm going to show you where to start this haircut, how to taper this haircut, how to do a little clipper over comb work, how to do a little shear work, how to precisely edge up with the trimmers and the straight blade razor, and let's not forget the facial hair. I'm going to show you how to do it all. Pay attention closely and you guys are going to be able to tackle not just this haircut, but every haircut that comes your way. Let's jump right in and get started and start this taper line. Grab your trimmers of choice and let's go ahead and set this taper line in. If you're a beginning barber, set the taper line a little lower than what I did in the video, okay? Let's progress and pull out our blending clippers. The first thing we want to do is make sure that lever on the side of the clippers is all the way closed. And this is going to knock out that guideline that we just set. And what we do is pull the lever back as we progress higher on the taper. Now you don't want to go higher than about a ½ inch, but that is going to lead us into the next step. Speaking about the next step, let's slap that 1/16 clip on our clippers. Make sure that lever on the side of the clippers is closed, and we're going to repeat the exact same steps. We're going to go a little higher, and as we progress higher, we're going to slowly pull that lever on the side of our clippers back. Now let's get ready for the next step and slap that 1/8 clip on our clipper. Start off with the lever closed, and as you go up, gradually pull that lever back. Now let's progress into the next step, which is the 1½ clip, which is the last clip we use before we hop into the next step. But let's rinse and repeat, lever closed. As we work up, pull that lever back. Speaking about the next step, let's get into it. My favorite, some clipper over comb. Grab your comb in the opposite hand of your blending clippers in between your index finger and your thumb. Make sure that lever on your blending clippers is open. What this does is gives you a little bit more room for error. Having that blending lever open or even a clip on the clipper is so forgiving. Now let's get ready to do some edge work. Pull out our trimmers. Notice I'm using the Andes GTX Exos. I like to use my trimmers and clippers as if they're paintbrushes for an artist, okay? These are my hitters when it comes to edging. Now the first thing you want to do, and notice I utilize the entire blade when I'm doing any type of trim and edge work, okay? Second thing you want to note is less is more when it comes to edge ups, okay? You don't want to end up taking too much off and pushing the person's hairline back. That's like the worst thing you can do when it comes to edging. So if you're scared you're going to take it too back, just keep it nice and natural. This goes for especially the beginner barbers out there. Now let's go ahead and flip everything around and go to the next side. Pull out your trimmers of choice, make your taper line, skin up everything underneath it, then go ahead and pull out your blending clippers with the lever closed and go ahead and work your way up with the lever going back as you're working your way up on the taper. We're going to take the exact same steps as we did in the beginning of the video. I'm just going to go over some of these steps and just go ahead and remind you guys on what to do, okay? Usually what I would do if I wasn't recording a tutorial is just work on one step throughout the entire head first, then progress into the next step. The reason I work on one side is give you guys the best type of tutorial so you can execute these same type of haircuts and hairstyles with the ease. Let's go back over some details with the comb work. Remember, grab the comb with the opposite hand of the clippers and grab it in between your index finger and your thumb. This is the best technique you can possibly do when it comes to comb work. It allows you to get the best angles and tilt the comb in certain directions to get the most efficient blends possible. The comb is also good so you can knock off multiple steps. If you didn't have clipper over comb, you would have to go through each clip to get the same effect. For example, you would have to jump from clip to clip, from the 1 clip to the 2 clip to the 3 clip and so forth and so on, alright? So make sure you master that clipper over comb, and that alone will take your barbering skills to the next level. So what I'm doing right here in the video is I'm using one of these sticky thingamajiggies to pin his hair up and see if the taper on both sides is even. I'm using a rat tail comb to part his hair to make sure it's even. This side looks a little bit more bulky than the other side, so I kind of compare the sides to see how even they are and see how uneven they are and go ahead and touch up what I feel that needs to be touched up. Always double check your work, but let's go ahead and progress into the edge up, okay? We're going to keep his hairline fairly natural, so go ahead and pin the hair up and hit anything that falls down and keep everything as natural as possible. Now let's get ready to pull that straight blade razor out and get to cutting, because this haircut about to be razor sharp. The first tip I want to give you guys while using the straight blade razor is always stretching the skin with the opposite hand of the razor. This allows you to get a cleaner, closer cut and it also reduces the chances of nicking or cutting your client, all right? Now, if you want to get an even closer shave, reverse shave your client. This just means shave against the grain. Be careful when you're doing this. The skin can be a little bit more sensitive, so make sure you follow tip number 1 and stretch the skin when you're doing so, okay? Let's move to the back of the neckline. This we're going to keep fairly natural, just like the rest of the haircut, making sure we're pinning the long hair away from the short hair so we can get to the bottom of the neckline without the risk of cutting any of his long hair from the back of his head, all right? So you're going to first want to use your trimmers like we did on the rest of the haircut, then follow what you did with the razor. Now remember guys, I do one side at a time for the sake of the video. If I was doing this without recording the Swift Tips video, what I would do is just knock out the entire back hairline with the trimmers, then go behind it with the straight blade razor, knocking it all out at once, one step at a time. When it comes to edging behind the ears, guys, don't be afraid to pull the ear down. Even if your client has stiff troll ears, work around it, pull it to the side, pull it left, pull it right, pull it down, do whatever you need to do to get this haircut right, all right? Now let's move forward and spray down the hair, getting all the hair nice and damp. And what I like to do is comb throughout the entire head, making sure the water is evenly spread throughout all the hair, okay? Get a comb in the opposite hand of your shears, and you want to pull the hair up and cut whatever length the client requests, and then you want to follow that exact step throughout the entire head. You can tell you're making it even as the hair starts to dry. Notice I keep cutting, I keep combing through the hair, pulling it up, pulling it in the direction of my choice, making sure everything's even. And don't be afraid to go back to some of the previous steps before, double checking your work. This will be appreciated by your client and your skills will grow doing so. Don't believe me? Ask Jerry. See, Jerry knows what he's talking about. Anyway, I want you guys to pay attention the way I use the comb, okay? After I grab the hair with the comb, I pull away from the scalp, getting the angle that I desire for the haircut that I'm doing. Now that the majority of the haircut is already finished, I'm gonna go over some of the smaller things that add up to bring you and your client a better haircut. So shave down all the peach fuzz, all those small baby hairs on the back of the client's head. Make sure you get that and all of the hairs on the face. Then grab a foil shaver if you have one. If not, use a straight blade razor and go over everything that you hit with those trimmers, okay? This is just thinning the hair out. These are texturizing shears. If you guys got them, good. If not, no worries. I just did that because his hair looked a little heavy. Now that it's nice and dry, I can kind of see that it's really bulky in the back, okay? The last service I like to offer my clients is for me to hit the eyebrows, okay? I usually only hit the top of the eyebrows, but just by doing that, it enhances the haircut. And like I said before, keep everything nice and natural. With all that being said, if you learned anything from this video, shoot me a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and comment down below. I'll respond to each and every comment, answering any and all questions you may have. DK tuning out.
Don't do that, bro. You do that on purpose. I look down. You're so stupid.